So guys, welcome back to the channel. These are two cars that we've basically booked in from last year, right? And we're basically getting to start with them now. So I've taken you guys through the 333 process, those cars that we was on, the ISs, the shadow lines. We're still going to be doing some updates on the paintwork. We've just painted one car now in the new booth. They came out very well. The we've changed basically your paint, the paint type, the material type. We've changed obviously the booth. It's a new booth in there, or not actually a new booth. It's a different booth to the booth that we used from the last time. Yes. Um, we've changed spray guns. We've changed a whole lot of things, right? And we're actually starting to see the results now on the end product, which is very good. So, having said that quickly, I'm going to be doing another video now on the Zenova red car that's getting a color change, and that's going through to brilliant red. So we've done with the metalwork on it. We've primed up metalwork. We've blocked and gotten the left fender correct. But I'll take you through that car now. Let's concentrate on those two babies here quickly. So what we're gonna do here is, right, we're gonna go through and we're gonna build two Alpina replicas. So these two clients, this client came to me in 2022, and we've been toying around with the idea. And he's actually got a very good car. So this body is actually, they're both 320 bodies, but obviously we're not going to leave them as 320s. So when we say we're going to do an Alpina car, we're not going to just put on the front spoiler, put on the rear spoiler, and put the Alpina stickers on it and an Alpina wheel on it. Firstly, we're going to go through color changes on the vehicle, right? So the two color codes that we've been playing around with, one is going to be, so this car we're going to go over to a blue. I'm not too sure what blue it is, but it's in the picture now, and this is the look that we're going to go for. So we're going to go with this blue. I'll get the color code. Obviously I need to get the color code, but I don't know it now, but we'll get the color code for it. We're going to go with the blue. We're going to go with the Alpina spoiler, obviously the stickers on it. So the basic Alpina bits we're going to do on it. Alpina stickers. We're going to go for an Alpina wheel on it, Alpina boot spoiler. The interior is something that we're going to play with on both cars, right? And we don't actually just want to settle for the famous Recaro seats, sorry, not Recaro seats or the sport seats. I want to look for something period correct for the vehicle. So finding the seats that the Alpina cars came out with is going to be very expensive. Firstly, very hard to find. South Africa is almost impossible to find that. So that means that we have to look overseas for it, right? And we know that we're going to, when we do find that, we're going to pay for it, and shipping is a killer. So we battle with getting anything into the country. So the seat that I had in mind, although the height is not correct and it'll need a lot of modifications, is maybe the E12 Recaros or the E12 sport seats. So they came in the 535s and so on like that. And I've done it before in one E30. The only thing is that you sit very high, so we've got to modify the brackets quite a bit. Or let's leave that not for last, but for later. But that's the thing that we're going to try and play with, right? We're going to try and play with those seats and not just your normal Ricardos. The feel on those seats, I do feel that we need to go with the material on it and with the Alpina colors. The steerings, we're going to hunt two Alpina steerings down. Vent cages, they're both getting vent cages, but these vent cages are going to change as to the original Alpinas. So the look and feel will be the same as a normal vent cage, but we're going to change the instrument on it. So we're going to make it usable for both cars, right? So this year we'll get the blue, we'll get the color scheme, and then we are gonna go Henna Red on this guy. So remember, they're both chrome bumper cars firstly. So South Africa knows them as chrome bumper vehicles. Overseas, you guys will call them preface, E30 preface vehicles. So we're gonna keep the chrome bumper setup, but we're gonna go with the shadow line effect. So yes, the Alpina cars didn't come with the color coded bumpers, but I think it looks the part. So we're gonna go with the color coded bumpers on them. We're gonna go with the shadow line effect all the way around. So from now on, we know we're going with blue on this car. We know we're going with Henna on this car. I've already found the spoiler, the boot spoiler for this car. So with that, we're very excited for already. It's an original boot spoiler. The front spoilers for both cars, I need to start sourcing them and hunting them down, and the wheels for both cars. Wheel sizes, I'm going to come to that shortly, because once we speak about what motors we're getting in here, you guys will then understand. On the blue car, we're going to go with the M30 B35 in there, right? So we're not going to go for the dogleg gearbox on this car, because the doglegs, if you guys don't know about it, the doglegs are very short. The ratios on them are very short, so they actually become very irritating to drive because of the ratios, number one. Number two, when you start jumping out of an automatic car or a manual car, a normal manual car, and you start jumping into the dogleg version vehicles, it actually gets irritating to drive because you forget about the first gear lower down. So, and we're not building this car up so much for speed or for anything of the sort. We're actually building it up for road use, for comfort, and also just to be as unique as possible. So the gearbox that I got for this car is the overdrive gearbox, which is known as the H-pattern 1-up gearbox. Looks identical to the dogleg. The fitment is identical. There is 2 changes to them, physical changes to the boxes. That doesn't affect really anything else, but it's just to identify the boxes, or we use it to identify the boxes. But otherwise, it looks identical to the 262 dogleg. So M30 B35 overdrive gearbox. Diff is going to change. We're going to work out a ratio for it and make it a nice cruiser vehicle. The body's been just prepped up very roughly, but we are still going to clean up on the engine bay. So what we're going to do on this vehicle is we've prepped the exterior out a lot. We're going to start preparing now the interior and the engine bay, because this car is getting a color change, right? We have to go in detail to it. So this pairing, all the pairings will come out. The harness, we're going to fold to the inside, remove the windscreen wiper, remove everything else, and then we're going to do a test fit of the M30 B35. So yes, we've done it before, but there's 2 things that we're going to play around with now. Are we going to go with the Alpina sump that the M30s need for the car? So can we find them? Yes. Is there a plan for them? Yes, but it all comes down to costings. So I don't have free reign on the vehicle. We've got to see if it's in budget and what are we going to use, but we're also going to try and keep it as far as possible to the Alpina look and feel. Also, it's not only because of the Alpina look and feel, it actually lines the motor up quite decently. The only thing that we're going to change on this car, and we're not going to go identical to one of the Alpina cars, is the radiator. Before, they were forced to use a smaller radiator, and we do know that's an issue. You've got a big motor in there, and a radiator half the size of your general 6-cylinder E30 radiators. This one here, we're going to use one of the modern radiators. So no, it won't be from one of the 5 or 7 series, because they physically do not fit. Most likely an E36 or an E46 radiator, and then we will still go over with the electric fans on the front. Okay, so we've got the idea sorted out on what we're going to do on this car. This one here, we chose to go totally different on this vehicle. So we chose to go the N62 route. If you guys don't know what an N62 is, the N62s, they first came out in the E53 X5s. So your 4.4s, your facelift 4.4s, 4.8 ISs. I know that the 4.8 ISs made some decent power. We actually found a 745. So we're taking the motor box out of there. We're going to chop and change with harness. We're going to play a lot with the car. So we're going to run it on a standard ECU. We're going to fight it, but we're going to run it on a standard ECU. I do believe that that car is an iDrive car. We're going to have to figure that out. But this is what this baby is going to get. So again, we're going to do the same procedure here. This car stripped out quite a bit more than this car here. So we're going to strip out further. The cars are going to come off the suspensions completely. This car is off the front suspension, but the rear suspension is still on. This car, for the undercarriage, we're not too certain how far we're going as yet. But as for this baby here, there's actually a huge surprise coming in for you guys with regards to the undercarriage. I'm not going to disclose of it now. We will only disclose later on. But I think this undercarriage is going to be unique. There's going to be a lot of work done to it. So what we're first going to do is, the 745 should be coming. I actually need to go and pick it up. And then we're going to do a test fit of the mounting box, right? Test fit of the mounting box, get mountings rigged up. Then we're going to have a look at the tunnel and see if the tunnel needs to be modified. So yes, it can squeeze in here, but we do have the car stripped out. We do have the option now to not refabricate the tunnel, but to modify the tunnel as much as we need so that the gearbox fits in there as snug and as freely as possible, if you can call it that. So N62B44, 6 HP 26 iDrive gearbox in there. We'll figure out what diff ratio we need to run with it to make it a cruiser vehicle. So this is actually gonna be a sleeper. It's gonna be a quiet V8, but when your foot gets put to when your pedal gets put to the metal, you will this thing will come alive. So imagine the power that you guys see in the 745s, the 545s, in the X5s. Those are big, heavy cars. The X5s weighs about 2.3 tons. This here, with motor in it, normally weighs about 1.3 tons. So you're taking off a ton off the weight already. And I think this thing is gonna be superb. Having said that, we're gonna have to change over to discs at the back. We're gonna see what we're gonna do with the discs over the braking system in the front, and most likely because of that gearbox setup, we are gonna use an ABS setup in it. That we'll get to once we start doing after fitment, once we start doing the wiring and seeing exactly what we need to put in. But again, on this guy here, we're gonna go with the Henna Red. We're gonna go with the Alpina type material. Seats, we spoke about that. Alpina seats. Alpina steering, and we're gonna go with a vent cage. So this vent cage is gonna be totally different. Again, I'm gonna say this: we're gonna have the same look and feel as a genuine Alpina vent cage, but it's gonna be functioning a little bit more different to that. Not a little bit more, quite a bit more to that. So we're gonna make a lot of the items work on it. For example, you look at your 333s that came out, you look at your B6s that came out. You've got engine oil temperature, you've got engine oil pressure, you've got diff oil temperature, and you've got vacuum pressure on it. Vacuum pressure we don't really need here, right? So then we can pull away. Diff oil temperature we don't really need, so we can substitute that with something else. What we can keep is engine oil temperature, engine oil pressure, maybe either water temperature, and look for another function to substitute the fourth function out there. So guys, stay tuned for this build here. This is just an intro that I'm doing for it, right? There's a lot of work that's going to get done to the undercarriage of the vehicles. This guy is going to get blasted. Like I said, this guy, I'm not just to show how far we're going through with the undercarriage, but this guy definitely is going to go in the rotisserie. He's going to get blasted. And painting is going to get done very later. It's going to get done much later on. It's not going to get done now. But we first want to get the motors in. So I need to source motor for this car still. I've got gearbox for it. This car, we've got motor box. We need to start doing test fits in the car. See the way forward. Work out the mountings that we're going to work with. And cut out whatever brackets we're going to cut out. That's another important thing. So the reason why we're not only prepping the engine bay up now is because let the motors come in. Like for example, your air filter brackets. On this car here, we're not going to use the airflow running across the tapered cover like the 5 Series normally do. I am going to use the Alpina intake on here. Sorry, not tapered cover. We are going to use the Alpina intake on here. So the throttle is going to be mounted onto this side, meaning that the airbox will sit in here. So I might have to keep the same bracket. However, on this vehicle here, we will be able to take out the relay bracket as well as the airbox bracket. The water mount brackets can also come out because we most likely will run with a radiator with a expansion tank on it. I think that's it for now for this intro video. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on it. This is part 1 of the build. And I think on these guys here, we will do tandem building. So we will do the videos all together. And yeah, again, guys, you guys do what you guys do. Like, subscribe, share. And yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think. And we'll chat soon.